A man who slept for 2,000 years. A temple nature built. Vikings who reached the Islamic Golden Age. 3 stories, 3 mysteries. One thing in common: nothing is what it first appears. Let's travel through time and uncover what history forgot to tell us. When you think of Vikings, what comes to mind? Burning monasteries, savage warriors? Think again. While Vikings raided Europe, another world was flourishing. Baghdad, capital of the Abbasid Caliphate, the richest city on earth. These two worlds seem like opposites, the icy north and the desert east, but archaeology proves they met. Across Scandinavia, archaeologists kept finding something strange. Silver coins, thousands of them, but they weren't Viking. These were Abbasid dirhams, stamped in Baghdad, Samarkand, and other Islamic cities, found buried in Viking graves and settlements. But how did Vikings reach Baghdad? Not across open ocean, through the rivers of Eastern Europe. Viking longships had a secret weapon: shallow drafts. They could sail oceans and glide through narrow rivers. Perfect for this journey. So what did Vikings bring south? Furs from the frozen north, amber from Baltic shores, and something darker: enslaved people. And what came north? Silver, exotic textiles, precious crafted items, wealth that transformed the Viking world. Did Vikings actually reach Baghdad? The coins say yes. The debate continues. But one thing is certain: the Vikings were more than raiders. They were global traders. In 1950, 2 Danish peat cutters made a discovery that would shock the world. They thought they had found a recent murder victim. The face was so clear, the stubble on his chin, the peaceful expression. It looked like a man who had just fallen asleep. But the police weren't called for a murderer. They were called for a ghost. This man died over 2,400 years ago. His name is Tollund man, and he was preserved not by man, but by a nightmare, a dark, acidic, oxygen-free world inside a Danish bog. The bog was so acidic, it should have dissolved his bones. Instead, it tanned his skin like leather, preserving every detail, including the rope that killed him. Scientists were able to take his fingerprints. They analyzed his last meal, a simple porridge eaten 2,400 years ago. They know what he ate for dinner before he died. But here's the chilling part. Tollund man is just one of hundreds. Across Europe, the bogs have given up their dead, their faces frozen in time. Why? Was it punishment, execution, or something far more terrifying? Many scholars believe they were sacrifices to a forgotten Iron Age goddess. The bog preserved his face perfectly, but it will never reveal his final secret. Was he a willing sacrifice or a terrified victim? The bogs are silent, but their stories are just beginning. What do you think happened to him? Let us know in the comments. In eastern California, there's a lake surrounded by hundreds of stone pillars that look like they belong in an ancient Greek temple. At first glance, these formations look carved, engineered, deliberate, like some ancient civilization left them behind. But the truth is more explosive. 760,000 years ago, a supervolcano erupted here. The Long Valley caldera sent ash across the entire region. That ash settled into thick layers. Over time, it hardened into rock. But deep underground, something was happening. Groundwater moved through the ash, creating vertical columns of cemented material. These columns were harder than everything around them. For thousands of years, these stone pillars remained buried, hidden beneath sediment, waiting. Then water levels in Crowley Lake began to fluctuate. Erosion did its work. Slowly, the columns emerged. Today they stand exposed. Some rise several meters tall, with rounded arches and narrow supports that look sculpted by hand. The explanation is entirely geological: heat, water, time, and erosion. No ancient builders, no lost civilization. But here's the thing: even knowing how they formed, they still look intentional. So what do you think? Nature's accident or Earth's masterpiece? 3 stories, 3 worlds, 1 truth. History is never what we expect. A man preserved by a bog for 2,400 years. his face still asking questions we cannot answer. Stone pillars that look like ancient temples, built by nothing but water, fire, and time. And Vikings, fierce raiders from the north, were also traders who reached the glittering streets of Baghdad. History is full of surprises. The things we think we know are often just the beginning. Which story surprised you most? The man from the past, nature's temple, or the Vikings who reached Baghdad? Tell us in the comments and subscribe for more history uncovered.